Hello, I'm Brian Gribbin, and this is my show.
Hey everyone, this is Brian, and welcome to the McGribbs Show. This is actually episode 1, and recently Matt Jackson, aka CCM drummer, he did a YouTube episode where he talked about all the interview shows and the promotion shows that everybody in our little corner of the internet is doing to help promote in some way and actually make friendships with other, in my case, musicians, but I know for some of you it's just been interacting with other drummers. And I realized I didn't actually have a promotion show. So nonetheless, here's a show I decided to do as a means of promotion for not just drummers, as I mentioned in my Q&A episode 4 video, but also for other musicians, vocalists, bassists, guitarists, keyboardists. You can also throw in pianos here and there. But the name is actually something I'm still a little bit questionable on. So I just wanted to kind of throw it out there and see what you guys think. Do you agree with the McGribbs Show, or do you think it should be named something else? So let me know in the comments if you have any ideas for any names you want to give to me. So this episode, we got some shots I'm going to give, and I also got some footage from drummers in our community that I'm going to share with you guys so you can see how their skills are. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump into it. All right, let's get into the shoutouts. First one on the list is Hitting Drums. And this is a drummer I found recently. Looks like his sort of drum covers deal into gospel, R&B, rap, those kind of genres. It looks like he's also done some live gigs here and there. Looks like his channel is relatively new, so you guys head on over and check him out. The next one on the list is actually a group of Irishmen, believe it or not. And this one's called the White Horse Guitar Club. It's actually a group of guitarists, and I guess one of their players does bass lines. He might jump between guitar and bass, but regardless, I found these guys out, and looks like they built their group around love and friendship too. So go on over and check them out. The one that I checked out was their Neil Young cover. So let me know what you guys think about them. Next on the list is 10 Set Pistol 100. And this is actually a bass player. And when I checked out his channel, I was originally looking for the story of the year, and the song was Anthem of Our Dying Day. And I stumbled upon his just to kind of review like how he played it. I'm actually impressed with him, man. After checking out his channel, it looks like he has an extensive list of rock, classic rock, some metal here and there. He's got a good channel too, so head on over and go check him out. Next on the list is Gabby McCormick, and it looks like she's a keyboardist and vocalist. She does vocal covers. Looks like she's also done some live streams, reviews here and there, I guess, about certain albums or musicians. And I actually checked out one of her songs, and she's got a beautiful voice. So head on over, go check her out. You will not be disappointed. And the last one on the list is actually a piano player. This is Rick Ferguson Music. He's an older gentleman. Looks like he does some piano covers here and there, and he says he's a music philosopher, so that's actually interesting. And he does reviews of classical composers, so I say he does a good job there too. And I actually was really mesmerized by his one piano cover he did, so you guys go check it out and let me know in the comments what you think. So let's make this interesting. If these guys and gals were to get together and form a band, what do you think their band names should be? Just let me know in the comments. Let's make this a little fun. So just think of some names and let's go from there. I can't wait to see your answers. Alright, so let's get into some of the solo works that I got from some of the musicians in our little community. And the first one on the list is Toby, aka 11 Drums. I tried to get Toby to come on my podcast, All Music Matters, and that, and unfortunately he was too preoccupied with school, so it couldn't work out then, but I'm hoping sometime in the near future when he catches a break here and there, he'll be able to come on and we can share some stories. He's an exceptional drummer. I gotta give him huge credit. And without further ado, here's little Toby's work. All right, Toby. Nice work, little man. I gotta give you credit. You're absolutely killing it, man. Keep on rocking there, buddy. And the last one's actually from a good friend of mine, and I actually interviewed him recently on my podcast. And this one I kind of put him on the spot, so he had to put a little piece of work together. And he's actually a student of Earl Bennett. That much I will spoil in terms of what's coming up for the podcast episode, but I did ask him throw something together, so nonetheless, here's my good friend, Sean Woodley. Awesome work there, Sean. Nice work. And that pretty much wraps up this week's episode. Last little bit I'm going to show you is actually next week's podcast episode. I'm just going to give you a nice little brief 5 minutes. Just kind of give you some insight about what to expect going on. It's actually a real special guest, and you'll recognize him as soon as you see him. So without further ado, that wraps up this episode. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, and consider subscribing below so that you can show your support. And not only for me, but also for these musicians who come on here and help out too. So we're here to showcase the talents of everybody who comes on here. So it's huge courtesy first to Johnny Cash for actually giving me the idea, and actually one I wanted to revive. So here's to it going forward. So as I mentioned earlier, if you guys like the name, The McGribbs Show, just let me know in the comments. Otherwise, leave some ideas down, and then we'll go from there, and then we'll work something out then too. So if you guys also want to be featured on this, just send me any work that you guys are working on. It could be any musical components, your own music, just a little solo, if you could just jam it out or whatever. And then I'll give you guys a shout out too. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe. Stay tuned, y'all.
Okay, so I was a young lad, about 3 or 4, and I started pounding on everything that was near, and it didn't matter if it was a couch or a person or a pot or a pan. And when I turned 4 at Christmas, actually it was right before my 4th birthday, because I'm in January and Christmas is right before my birthday, and my parents gave me a drum, and it has a little ribbon around it. You put it on and a couple sticks, you can walk around the street like the fife and drum folks from the 1776.
Oh,
that type of drum.
The little drummer boy,
like, yeah. Yeah, exactly. And they're like, you're not too bad. Then my next door neighbor was older and was in the Army and got called to Vietnam. And he played the drums, and his parents asked me, says, would you, while he's gone, you're more than welcome to take his drums because we know you love the drums. I'm like, okay. So did that and started getting fairly proficient at a very young age. And he came back from Vietnam and wanted his drums back, and I was devastated. And next thing I knew, I came to dinner one night, and there was a receipt on my plate. And I looked at it, and it was for a drum set from the local music store in St. Louis. And I couldn't believe it. And my parents were cool that way because they knew it was my passion. And so we went and picked up the drum set, and it wasn't all there. It was missing a tom-tom. Again, devastation. No, this can't be. Me. Oh, it's on back order, right? Okay, so it finally came in and all that. That's the very same set I play today, the actual trap kit. I've changed out the snare drum long since, but I've added everything else, all the rototoms and cymbals, because the cymbals it came with were, lousy. So you start spending money on cymbals, they're more expensive than drums. Oh my God. Those things get really pricey. But you got to do what you got to do. So
yeah, absolutely. And when I first stumbled upon your channel, the first video I saw was Dance the Night Away by Van Halen. And you incorporated, I was like seeing all these big drums right here. I'm thinking like, Jimmy Christmas, these are like sizes of gongs on the side right there, but they must be like his floor toms and stuff like that. I guess, guys, walk us through your kit a little bit, because I'm assuming you're not next to it.
No, I'm not next to it. It's in the room. It's in my studio right next door. However, yeah, so I changed out the original snare to a Gretsch 6.5 deep silver sparkle maple is it maple? I think it's maple. Yeah, maple snare, and the rest of it is the rest of the trap kit, which is Apollo, which long since got bought out by Pearl, I believe. So I have a 12-inch, a 13-inch, a 16-inch, and a 20-inch bass drum. So it's a really small bass drum. But what I did when I got it, because it would still go boom, 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 and ring. So I went to a local foam rubber place and said, cut me out a half moon about this thick in 20-inch. And they did, and I spray painted the front of it black, and I shoved it in my bass drum, and now it goes boom, boom, instead of boom, boom. And I've had that thing for, I don't know, 50 years now. It's crazy. It still works great. So I should probably market that. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Did you try anything else in terms of maybe trying to downgrade that sort of boom sort of feeling, or did you try everything and nothing else worked?
A pillow.
That's
Throw a pillow in there. I used to have a cat that slept in there. It didn't much longer, you know.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, it worked for a second there.
There's the alarm clock. Yeah, you have to wake him up.
And then, so all the rototoms, the rack toms that are around me, they're all Remo, and they're 6, 8, 10, 10, 12, 16, 18 are the big ones. And I got those when I was working at a music store in St. Louis when I was still in high school, but I was also working there and working part-time at a car wash. So I had some money that I wanted to spend. I knew exactly what I wanted to spend it on, and it was those, and I did. So the 6, 8, and 10 was the first ones that I got. And then a couple months later, I was able to save up enough and get the 10 and 12. Hadn't even seen the 16, 18 yet. So all of a sudden, they showed up at the music store. I'm like, mine. Those are mine. And I have not seen another pair since. And they let me buy them. They let me save up for it and buy them. And, yeah, people have offered me a lot of money for those things. I'm like, I'm not breaking up my set. Are you kidding me? No, thank you.
No, it's like, go to hell, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
These are mine.